Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A very good morning to one and all. I'm Gayatri, Head of Home Science Department at the Women's College, Bangalore. Welcome you all for today's webinar titled Protect Breastfeeding, a message for mother-to-be. As we all know that World Breastfeeding Week is observed from 1st August to 7th August to create awareness about the importance of breastfeeding. Human milk is uniquely engineered for human infants, and it is a natural way to feed the baby. It is free from contamination and is available at the right temperature without any effort. Breastfeeding makes it possible to develop close and harmonious relationship, which is enjoyable and satisfying to both the infant and the mother. With this context, the Department of Home Science, Besant Women's College, Mangalore, in association with Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North, have organized this webinar. It's my proud privilege to welcome today's resource person, Madam Mitra Prabhu, visiting faculty at Zulekha and Unity Nursing College, Mangalore, and a diet consultant. Welcome you, ma'am. I'm happy to welcome Madam Dr. Bharati Prakash, Head of Microbiology Department, University College, Mangalore, and also the President of Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North for associating with us for today's webinar. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm happy to welcome our management members, our principal, Dr. Satish Kumar Shetty P, IKC coordinator, Professor Syed Khader, NAC coordinator, Dr. Praveen Kumar KC, to this webinar. Welcome, sirs.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to welcome all the members of Inner Wheel Club, Mangalore North. Welcome, madams.
Thank you.
Welcome all my dear colleagues and dear virtual participants for this webinar. Now, I request our principal, Dr. Satish Kumar Shetty, to speak a few words on this occasion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Very good morning to all of you. I'm very happy to be associated with the Inner Club of Mangalore to organize this one-day webinar on the importance of breastfeeding. Respected resource person of today's webinar, Professor Mitra Prabhu, visiting faculty, Zulekha College of Nursing and Unity Nursing College, Mangalore, and also that consultant, Madam Dr. Bharati Prakash, the President of the Inner Club, Mangalore, HOD of the Home Science Department, Madam Gayatri, the IQAC coordinator, Professor Syed Khader.
Thank you, sir.
The NAC coordinator, Dr. Praveen Kumar KC, all members of the Inner Club, and the student participants and participants from all over this country and all over the world. World Breastfeeding Week has been observed throughout the world. This is an opportunity to emphasize the importance of breastfeeding and advocate for the protection, promotion, and support of breastfeeding. In 2020, World Alliance for Breastfeeding has announced the slogan, "Support breastfeeding for a healthier planet." Breast milk is environmentally safe, produced and delivered without pollution, contains antibodies and other immunological benefits that can give babies a healthy boost, help to protect against respiratory diseases. Breast milk is the best natural source of nutrition for infants, including infants whose mothers have confirmed or suspected coronavirus infection. As long as infected mothers take appropriate protection, she can breastfeed her baby. A new report of WHO and UNICEF and the International Baby Food Action Network reveals that despite countries' efforts to stop the harmful production of breast milk substitutes, they are still falling short in protecting parents from misleading information. Anecdotal evidence also appears to show the aggressive marketing is growing, especially more during this time of pandemic that highlights the need for stronger legislation and enforcement of law to protect families from false claims about the safety of breast milk substitutes. Moreover, this infant formula milk production and consumption generates greenhouse gas emission, which accelerate global warming, requires mass protection by the dairy industry with plastic and other waste and degeneration of land and waterway. This makes urgent the investigation of its environmental costs, including greenhouse gas infections. I wish World Breastfeeding Week all the success. Let this campaign to raise awareness and galvanize action on themes related to breastfeeding. With these few words, I wish the organizers and the members of the Inner Club, including Madam Dr. Bharati, the President of the Inner House, all the best and good luck. Let this webinar incite some, say, interest amongst the people to go for breastfeeding. Thank you and have a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your words of appreciation as well as informative one. Now, I request Dr. Bharati Prakash, HOD of Microbiology, Department of Microbiology, University College, Mangalore, and also the President of Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North to introduce our resource person. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Professor Gayatri. Good morning, everyone. As this program is a joint one between two colleges as well as the Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North, I would like to give a little information for all of you, those who are not a part of Inner Wheel. Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North is meant for friendship and service. In Mangalore, it is a 48th year who is doing the service successfully and serving the society. So I'm a proud Inner Wheel member from the district 318. And for this program, we have various past district chairmen, association presidents, secretaries, and many Inner Wheel members and our university college students. Of course, Besant College students are also here. So this is a platform of Inner Wheel which has given this year's theme is Pink First. Pink First, and the international project is declared, that is Strong Woman and Stronger the World. Of course, both of them completely focus on women's education, health, and empowerment. So Besant College is, of course, a very good audience and the right people to whom we can give all such kind of programs for the women empowerment and education. For this program, I would like to say all the young, beautiful girls who are here, I request, I also suggest that whenever after your education and career, when you settle down, please join Inner Wheel Club. You will surely enjoy the fun, the activities, friendship, and service. And whenever you serve the community, it is everyone's duty. It is our duty to serve the society in whatever best possible way we can. And if you join this Inner Wheel Club, I'm sure that you will never feel that you have lived in vain. Now, I'm also proud to say that our own Inner Wheel member, who is a dietitian and nutritionist, is also here as a resource person for all of us, this program. And I have a great pleasure to introduce Mitra, Madam, for this program as a resource person. As her name indicates, Mitra, friendship radiates in her name, I can say. Here is a brief profile of Madam Mitra Prabhu. She is born in Bombay. She completed her graduation from Home Science from Nutrition from Mount Carmel College, Bangalore. She is a diploma in HRD from AIM's Insight, Mangalore. Also a postgraduate in Dietetics and Food Science, Mangalore from IGNOU. In Innovil, she has served many posts comfortably and successfully. She is a past president of Innovil Club of Mangalore North in 98-99. She was a district chairman of Innovil Club, our district 318, Association of Innovil Clubs in India, District Literacy Coordinator of Innovil District 318, and she is also a very good artist, good at painting and drawing. She has received many prizes from Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad, as well as many prizes from the Mysuru Dasara exhibition, and she is married to Mr. Gigi Mohandas Prabhu, former president of Canara Chamber of Commerce, Mangalore, and also former Rotarian. Mrs. Mitra has worked as a nutritionist at the fitness centers in Mangalore, like RX Lifestyle Modification. She is also the lecturer for nutrition at Zulekha Nursing Home, Unity College of Nursing Home, and she is freelance dietitian. Other interests like hobbies are traveling, stitching, craft, cooking, reading, yoga, and making friends. So, as her name radiates, a friend, she is also a good resource person, good nutritionist. I'm happy to introduce that I have introduced her, and she's from our club. So, welcome to you, Mrs. Mitra, once again. Over to you for the talk.
Thank you, Bharati. Thank you, Bharati, for the nice introduction. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy that today I'm going to be the resource person for this very important program of World Breastfeeding Week. So from August 1st to August 7th, internationally, World Breastfeeding Week is celebrated. You know why it is, it's a program which is organized by WHO, UNICEF, and WABA. WABA is World Body for Alliance Working in Action for Breastfeeding Week. So this is a World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action, and all these organizations have got together way back in 1942. So I'm giving you all a brief introduction about what is this World Breastfeeding Week. So why we are celebrating it? It's an occasion to celebrate, in fact, because otherwise we'll just take it casually that a mother always breastfeeds a baby. It is taken for granted. But now, since 1992, it has been in spotlight. The necessity for breastfeeding. That is why we celebrate this World Breastfeeding Week. And all these years, we have been doing a lot. And each year, a theme is given to, for the year. So this year, we have protect breastfeeding and promote breastfeeding. All this is highlighted. I'm sure all the students who are here are aware about this program of World Breastfeeding Week, and I'm sure today you will be getting more information, and I am going to focus more on the nutrition part of it, because just like that, we all know that we have programs where we go to rural areas and we create awareness among the rural people, especially the women, thinking that they are the people who require awareness. We all know that any mother, as soon as she gets the baby, she will breastfeed the baby. It is just natural. And it is, no one should, you can talk about it, because it just happens. It's God's way of feeding the baby. But now the need has come that every woman should know why they have to breastfeed. So that is why this World Breastfeeding Week is conducted throughout the world. So let me start with the PPT so that you can see and also understand things better as I'm talking. So let me share the PPT. Can you all see it on the screen?
Yes,
Can you all see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So this is the World Breastfeeding Week. It started from August 1st to August 7th. So today is the last day of the World Breastfeeding Week. So this is the year's theme for the year 2021, Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility. So it is in association with WABA. I told you WABA is World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action. So it was started in Singapore, in Malaysia, and this has been working along with WHO, UNICEF, and it wants to create awareness among the people about the importance of breastfeeding. So World Breastfeeding Week 2021 has certain events highlighted. So from 1st to 7th, it is World Breastfeeding Week. And the year's theme is, as I just told you, Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility. This whole month is dedicated to Breastfeeding Week, breastfeeding. So August 8th to 7th is Native Breastfeeding Week. And from 25th to 31st is Black Breastfeeding Week. And the importance is given to revive, restore, and reclaim. So why the last part, the Black Breastfeeding Week? It is for the American society where blacks are more prevalent, and it is for them because they need more awareness about breastfeeding. So that is why they have dedicated, because this is started, even in America, they have this society where more awareness is needed. So that is why they have 1 week dedicated for this Black Breastfeeding Week. So you can see on the screen that World Breastfeeding Week is an annual celebration. We celebrate it every year. And it is held from 1st to 7th August every year. And it is done in more than 120 countries.
Madam
So
Mitra,
yeah.
can you please focus on one slide, that slide show, so that one slide will be highlighted.
Okay. Yeah, is it clear?
Okay, one slide, single slide.
Yeah. So this World Breastfeeding Week, we have importance given to women for paid maternity leave. Because what happens is nowadays all women also go to work, and when they don't get leave, then they cannot breastfeed the baby. So that is why everyone, world organizations who stress on the women and child health, stress on the need for maternity leave, paid, because they have to support themselves, and it is very necessary that they get paid maternity leave. And it highlights on, so that during this period, the baby can be breastfed, and also the maternal health can be taken care of, as well as the child, and so that nothing is neglected. So that is the reason why paid maternity leave is very important for mothers. So this year's logo for Breastfeeding Week, you can see here, it is a mother and child, and actually you can see it is a family with the baby. And this is a program which is held every year. It's a global celebration to promote breastfeeding, to support breastfeeding, to create awareness, education. Research has been done on this, and also new things that can be added, progressive trends. so that every child will get good nutrition, every child born in this planet. So man and animal both, give birth, the women and the child is born, and both breastfeed the baby. And so it is just a God's way of providing food to the infant. It is an act of love because no one can interfere, or it's in any country you go, it's the same, the bond between the mother and the child. There's no language for it. It's just the mother's love and the need to provide food for the newborn. It's the unspoken thing that goes on between the mother and child. That's the what is important in breastfeeding. And it's also true that breast milk, no one can make it. It is God made. So there's no other substance on earth like breast milk. So that is why we give so much of importance for breastfeeding, especially exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of the child's life. So now I'm going to concentrate on the nutritional aspect of breast milk. So why it is very important that the child is fed with breast milk. The child, after it is born, there's a period of rapid growth. So during this phase, the child needs utmost amount of good nutrition or the food, and the baby is also has a very delicate digestive system. So you just cannot give any food to the baby. So it should suit its digestive tract. So the breast milk is the one that suits the digestive tract of the baby, and it has all the nutrients which will provide growth for the growth and development of the baby. So breastfeeding should be the sole food for the baby for the first few months, say up to 6 months. It is exclusive breastfeeding. So it should be initiated immediately after the birth of the baby. Within 1 hour, the baby should be initiated to breastfeeding, and it should be continued for the first 6 months. So the milk that is secreted for the first 3 to 4 days after delivery is a little different from the milk that is produced later. So the first 3 days, the milk that is produced is called colostrum, or it is also called liquid gold for the baby. So you can say by the name itself, liquid gold, it is so precious. So let's see why this colostrum is very precious. So this colostrum is watery yellowish liquid that comes out from the breast for the first 3 or 4 days. And it has all the nutrients. It is very rich source of proteins, especially immunoglobulins, that is immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin G. All this is very important to fight against infection. So that is why we see that babies who are breastfed do not fall sick that easily. And they also contain enzymes, and so that it will help in the digestion. And also for cell maturation, the growth of the baby is taking place. So cell maturation has to be done in the body. So for all this, the colostrum provides whatever is necessary. So in the picture, you can see how the color of the milk changes. So the first 3 days, it is golden color, and the quantity also will be less. And as the days proceed, the color changes, the milk quantity also increases, and then it becomes white. Yeah, so I hope everyone is seeing the changes in the color, how from golden yellow it is converted to white color, mature milk.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is, yeah. So because it is yellowish in color, it is called liquid gold, and it is very important because it gives immunity, protection to the baby, as well as it is all the nutrients. So let's learn a little more about this colostrum. I stress on this colostrum because every mother should feed the baby with the milk that is produced in the first 3 days. So that is why, as all the girls who are participating in this webinar, they should know the importance of this colostrum. So that is why I am stressing on the properties of colostrum. So it has all the immune cells that will protect the child, then lactoferrin, which helps in iron absorption, and lysozymes and lactoperoxidase. All these are protective cells, and it has a lot of polypeptides, that is proteins, cytokines, which help in protection again. So all this will help the child to grow healthy. It has vitamins, it has proteins, it has fats, and all helps in providing the antibodies to lower risk of any disease as well as allergies. So if a baby is given some other milk, then there can be chances of it getting some allergy. So we can be assured that feeding the baby with breast milk, no allergies can happen. And also it has shown that feeding the baby with breast milk reduces diarrhea and respiratory tract infections by about 72% and 57% respectively. Because as we just saw, it has so much of immunoglobulins, that is the antibiotics that help in fighting the infections. So naturally, the baby is well protected from all these infections. And also it has been found that breastfed babies have higher IQ level later on in life. That is because they have fatty acid chains, DHA, which will help in the growth of the brain. So that is why we see that babies fed with breast milk have higher IQ level. So this is the properties of colostrum, and I stress that every mother should feed the baby as soon as the baby is born, so that they get the benefit of the colostrum. So now this, we should know the difference between cow's milk and human milk. It's almost the same. You can see it on the screen. That is why, supposing a mother cannot breastfeed, cow's milk can be given to the baby, but it has to be little diluted. It cannot be given the same, but otherwise it is almost the same. But it can be given only if the mother cannot be breastfed. Breastfed the baby, only then she can give cow's milk. Otherwise, she has to stick on to exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months. So let's learn about breast milk, why it is very important, how much of milk is produced. So a mother can secrete about 600 ml or up to 850 ml. So it depends upon individuals, milk per day for the first 6 months. And it all depends on how much, whether she's feeding the baby, because the suckling effect will produce more milk. So every 100 ml of milk will contain 1.1 gram of protein, 7.4 grams of carbohydrate, 3.4 grams of fat, and it gives about 65 calories. So it is the best milk for the baby for the first 6 months. So for first 6 months, the baby should be given only milk, breast milk. And the complementary foods or anything extra that has to be given has to be done only after 6 months. So I am stressing here, besides this exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, because many people tend to feed the baby extra things when they need not do it. Because when you give something extra, then what happens is there can be chances of diarrhea or infection or allergies, because we do not know. So it's better to stick to exclusive breast milk for the first 6 months. So later on, Cow's milk can be given soft cooked cereals, pulses, vegetables, fruit juice, fruits like banana, small, something that is very soft can be given after 6 months. So all these are called complementary foods. And it is the period after 6 months that one weans away the baby from the breast milk. So one has to stop feeding the baby breast milk, not completely, but partly. The mother can continue to feed the baby up to 1 year or up to 2 years. It depends. And if the mother can breastfeed, there is nothing like that. But the baby still needs extra because 600 ml of milk will not be sufficient. So she has to give complementary foods later. Now about artificial feeding. So when can that be done? Supposing the mother cannot breastfeed after the birth of the baby. She has some health issues, or the child has born with some deformities with the cleft lip or something, then how can the baby feed? So only in such conditions, cow's milk or artificial feeding has to be resorted to. Otherwise, the breast milk should be given to the baby. So now let's see what are the advantages of breastfeeding. So we are stressing on breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months. There should be some advantages, isn't it? So let's see what are the advantages. So the composition of human milk is best for the baby because God has made it in such a way that the baby gets the best for the first 6 months. All the nutrients are in the right proportion. We don't have to manipulate anything. It's there in the milk. Then it is convenient because you don't, supposing you are feeding the baby something other than breast milk, you have to clean the bottle and you have to heat the water. All precautions have to be taken, and preparation time, everything is there. So here it is convenient, no need of preparation time, readily available. Just let the baby suckle. That's it. It is sterile. You don't have to, apply anything, clean, nothing. Whereas bottles, you have to make them sterile. And then you have to, if it is milk, you have to heat it and say that it is not contaminated. No cooking is required here. And this is the milk which is easily digestible. So everything is perfect with the breast milk. It is economical. No money is to be spent. If one has to buy the Amul milk powder or any of cow's milk, they have to spend extra. So it is economical, clean. That's what we said. It's sterile. You don't have to worry. Then free from contamination. There's no chance of anything getting contaminated with the breast milk. It is going straight from the mother's body to the baby's mouth. And then because it has a lot of antibiotics, immunoglobulins, there's no risk of allergy and also tendency to become obese. So this is one thing which is very important because breastfed babies get the right amount of fat and they stop drinking when they are full. No one can force them. They know when to stop. Whereas artificial feeding, if you are giving them extra milk, maybe you overfeed the baby. You think, oh, my baby is not getting enough. Maybe the baby wants something more and you will force the baby to take more. So what happens is, and also the concentration of the fat in the milk also varies. So the chances of the baby becoming obese are more. Then the next point is derived sense of security. So this is the bonding between the mother and the child. When the mother holds the baby close to her heart and breastfeeds, that sense of togetherness is very important, both for the mother as well as the baby. So it gives a feeling of security for both mother as well as the child. So this is very important aspect in the breastfeeding. Then helps in involution of the uterus and reduces chances of breast cancer, mastitis, helps reduce mother's body weight. So this is very important because all this is due to the effect of the hormones that play a role. So during pregnancy, the two hormones that play a role are estrogen and progesterone. And now, after the baby is born, the hormones that are active are prolactin and oxytocin. So these two hormones will help in the involution of the uterus. The uterus would have expanded to for the growing baby inside. So it has to shrink back to its normal size. So these are the hormones which help the uterus to get back to size. And also when if the mother breastfeeds, the chances of getting breast cancer later on are less, and also any infection also is less. And also one important thing is helps the mother reduce weight. It's a misconception that women think that when they breastfeed they'll put on weight, so they should not breastfeed the baby. So all these are myths which are wrong, and they have to be corrected. So this is the occasion where you can get awareness about it, that breastfeeding helps the mother to reduce weight. So what happens is usually during pregnancy, the woman tends to put on weight, and of course after delivery she'll be fed well. The mothers will be given a lot to eat. They'll be told to eat a lot of fat, something with ghee. I know, and what happens is that you feel that you'll put on weight. But why this fat is given? There's, even though our grandmothers felt that ghee has to be given, it is true that we cannot say that it is fully wrong, though we feel that too much may cause fat accumulation in the body. But why that was given is because fat is necessary for the production of milk. So that is why there was a tendency for everyone to make the new mother take something with ghee, so that more milk will be produced. The last advantage is contraceptive effect for the mother. So this is also hormonal. So as I told you, there are two hormones, prolactin and oxytocin. So these two hormones are at the peak during the lactation period, and estrogen and progesterone are low at this point of time. So as long as the mother breastfeeds, the prolactin and the oxytocin hormones are on the higher level, and it will provide contraceptive effect to the mother. So that is why as long as she breastfeeds, the chances of getting a next pregnancy are reduced. So I hope all young girls listening to it, this will know that there is a lot of advantages for breastfeeding. So you can see the picture here. Helps to lose weight, reduces risk of breast cancer. Babies with higher intelligence, IQ level will be more, and then lowers the risk of SIDS. SIDS is sudden death of the children. So that will be also reduced. Contains all the antibodies. Milk has all the antibodies, protects the child, and then easily digested so that it prevents constipation for the baby, and all the nutrients are present in the food for the baby. So these are the benefits of breastfeeding. So there are certain foods called lactogogos. So these are substances which help to promote lactation. So garlic is one of such food. And in India, there are many kashayas given with the garlic for lactating women, with the aim to produce more milk, because it is a lactogogue. So it can be synthetic or plant derived. So these are the foods mainly which help in increasing breast milk. So some more food which help in increasing breast milk: proteins, and a lot of vegetables which have vitamins. So all this help. Some of the fruits also are ones which help in more production of more breast milk. So these are some of the herbs which help in promoting more production of more milk, and so they are called silymarin. So it increases the prolactin. So this silymarin helps in increasing the level of the prolactin hormone. So this prolactin stimulates milk production. More milk production to be there, then silymarin is, it's a herb. It is included. Then fenugreek, it helps to increase milk flow, as it contains a substance called diosgen. And then another herb called shatavari. It improves the quality and quantity of the breast milk. So all these are included mainly in the kashaya that is given to the lactating mother. So as I said, besides breastfeeding, the importance should be given to the mother. She gets a nutritious diet, so that when she breastfeeds, she'll also be in good health and she can have the sustained breastfeeding for 6 months. If she doesn't eat properly, then the nutrient quality will be less. And also she may start losing weight and may not be able to take care of the baby if she doesn't take care of herself. So these are the things that she has to eat for herself so that she is in good health to breastfeed. So one of the things that is stressed on is plenty of water should be consumed. So soup, milk, juice, water, also such liquid should be consumed more, so that milk production will be maintained. Fruits, milk, eggs, paneer. If non-vegetarians can eat all the protein-rich food, then vegetables, and also breast milk produces, like I told you, methi seeds, fennel, ajwain, tea, ginger. So all these are added for the kashayas. That is why the grandmothers used to, earlier, they used to stress on all this. But nowadays, many feel that eating healthy is enough. But along with that, I feel these things, if they are included, will be more beneficial, because traditional recipes for all these kashayas would not have come this far if they didn't have any benefits. Okay, the healthy diet, fruits, vegetables, protein-rich food, extra fluids. So I stressed on extra fluids because milk production, you should get about 600 to 800 ml of milk. So that is why fluids are included. Protein is increased. So if a mother has usually protein 1 gram per kg body weight. So if you have 50 kgs, you need to eat about 50 grams of protein. So, but during pregnancy and lactation, the protein requirement increases. During pregnancy, because the baby has to grow inside, and later on also the mother has to breastfeed. So with all both these counts, protein is increased by plus 11 grams per day, and you get that from beans, pulses, meat, fish, egg, and seeds. And calcium is also important, because during pregnancy the calcium is increased, because bones have to be formed, and later on also the milk calcium should be there for the baby. Then supplements, vitamin D, B12, all these are required for the baby. And one thing the mother has to be careful is cut down on caffeine. So at the most 1 glass of coffee is permitted, but it's better to cut down on the caffeine content. And alcohol is a no during lactation, if anyone is consuming alcohol. Now we all know that breastfeeding is the natural thing that can be done by any mother. There's nothing to hide. It is a natural process. But then there are certain barriers that can happen. So what are these barriers? Poor health of the mother, can prevent her from breastfeeding or some disease. Supposing she has chicken pox or some where it is very, it can spread. So the baby and the mother are separated. So such instances, sometimes the baby cannot be breastfed, or sometimes the baby cannot latch on to the nipple and suckle. So such things, the baby may find it difficult, and even the mother may not be able to help. So usually during pregnancy itself, there are lactation experts who help in educating the mother about how to, be prepared for the breastfeeding, how to make the baby latch on, and what are the best positions to hold the baby for breastfeeding. So all this can be, during pregnancy itself, all this awareness is created. Or maybe there is a lack of time to breastfeed if she is working, and then dependence on formula milk. They feel, some of them, they don't, spend time with the babies. So the baby is with the servant, and they are very busy elsewhere. So formula milk, and then insufficient milk. Some, naturally, for some people, the hormones do not work. There's a decrease in the hormones, prolactin, and so naturally breastfeeding has to be stopped. It will stop naturally. And then guidance, as I just told you, they need someone to help them how to make the correct positions of breastfeeding, how to hold the baby, how to make the baby latch on. And also, supposing the baby cries when a person is traveling somewhere, or so breastfeeding in public is a taboo. So they may not breastfeed the baby. So all such things are the barriers. So what is important now, we said support breastfeeding. So everyone should be made aware that breastfeeding can be done anytime, anywhere, and the whole society should be made aware of. Can someone mute? So we should make the society aware of this breastfeeding. It is a natural thing, so you should not feel ashamed of it. So the society should be made breastfeeding friendly. So that is very important. And I'm sure in the present society, everyone, it's not that the girls only have to know about it. The men, the male and the female, both should be aware of all this, because we work as a team in the society. So now we don't get, many women are working nowadays. So they just get a couple of months maternity leave, and then they have to join back to work. So then what to do about exclusive breastfeeding? How can they continue with it? So we have this pumping of the breast milk and storing it and giving to the baby. So this is how it is done. You get those pumps where breast milk can be pumped and can be stored and given when the baby requires. So when the mother, if she is going for work, before she leaves, she has to pump the milk and keep it in the refrigerator. And whoever is taking care of the baby can feed the baby as and when required. And also there is, in some offices, you get facilities where the baby can be brought to office, and they have creches there where, and the mother also can get some time off to breastfeed. So some of the offices which are aware of all these women, problems of women and how they can solve it, have come up with these creches in the office to solve the problem of, to make this breastfeeding comfortable for the mothers. So you can see how milk is stored, breast milk. So once it is pumped, it can be stored for 4 hours at room temperature, then in the fridge for about 4 days, in the freezer for 12 months, and in the cooler for 24 hours. So this is if the mother is working only. If the mother is at home, the best thing is the mother holding the baby and feeding. But one thing you have to remember is this milk, after it is removed from the fridge, it has to be thawed, and you bring it down to room temperature, and then you can't give very cold milk to the baby. It has to be brought to the right temperature, only then the baby will drink. Because the baby is so used to drinking the milk of the temperature from which it comes from the mother's body. So it should get back to that temperature. So what one should do is hold it on tap of hot water, or you can keep it in a container with the water, not very boiling water, medium hot, and bring it to the temperature which is the baby can drink. And uh, and what is important is you take extra milk and then baby does not drink, and again keep it back in the freezer. All such things will change the can cause infection, because you are exposing it to outside environment and it can get contaminated. So you should be very careful about this. So have small bottles with the right amount of milk which the baby can drink, so that there won't be any problem, and the baby can continue with the breast milk. Supposing the breast milk cannot, if someone doesn't get the opportunity or the facility for breast pump the milk, then maybe some other milk has to be given, but the baby is very selective. It will immediately make out that it is not breast milk. So you can see it in the next slide here. A very smart baby. He says, I want the real thing. I don't want the bottle milk. I want mommy's milk. So I come to the end of my talk. I hope I'm able to create an awareness among you all of the importance of breastfeeding, and I stressed on the need for the nutrition part of breast milk, both and for the baby as well as the maternal nutrition, because both go hand in hand. If the mother's nutrition is taken care of, then naturally the baby will also get the benefit of breast milk. So thank you for the opportunity. So I thank my president, Dr. Bharati Prakash, for inviting me for this program as a resource person, and also the management of Besant College for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. If there are any questions, you can please ask. So I'll just close the PPT.
Yeah, Madam Mitra, there was one question from one student, I think. What she asked is, you told that since it is yellow in color, breast milk, so the first colostrum is called as liquid gold. So she wants to know how that coin, the term has been given, the name as liquid gold. Who gave, or what's the history?
Yeah, it is. It's a good question. It is called liquid gold because it is so precious. It's something that is God has made for the child to get all the nutrients and the immunoglobulins, the immunity protection for the baby. So at that young age, if something like that is provided, isn't it worth gold? It is something that it is in a liquid form. It is yellow in color like gold. So naturally, and it is so precious for the baby. That is why the need for the baby to be given this colostrum is highlighted or stressed. So that is why it is called liquid gold.
Yeah.
I hope I have,
Breastfeeding itself is a gold standard also. So you can't.
Purity also. Purity also.
Yes. Yes, Nirmala. Any other questions?
Yeah, in this COVID condition, if a mother is positive COVID, she can feed the baby, right? If she's got
no, they can breastfeed, provided all the precautions are taken. They wash their hands, and because the milk does not have infection, the external features all they should be taken care of. Like when she's handling the baby, if she's touching the, first sanitize the hands and then touch the nipple. Yeah, because if her hands are contaminated, then it'll the chances of getting to the baby. Otherwise, but all precautions need to be taken.
But the baby, if baby also has COVID, then
babies do not immediately if they're breastfed immediately, it cannot happen. It's very rare that such happens because many pregnancies after delivery, the mother may be COVID, but the child does not get COVID if all precautions are taken during the delivery part.
Mitra, if
Hmm.
if there is a, what do you call it, COVID time, how do you think? How does the, I'm talking about the vaccination. They say pregnant mothers and lactating mothers are not supposed to take the vaccination. Why is it?
Now it has been allowed that they can take the vaccination.
Yes.
The government, yes, the health authorities, they have given permission, they can take, but I think they should be in consultation with their doctor, whoever the gynecologist. So based upon their guidance, they can take the vaccination.
Mitra, Malini Hebbar here. I know that
Yeah.
students are supposed to be asking questions, and we are all asking questions. I apologize to the students for that. But I have one small question. I have a lot of faith
Yeah.
in native. And when we had our babies, our mothers
Yeah.
made us drink, mothers made the child drink water, but they did not allow us to drink water. Now it's the opposite. Now you are saying that we should drink a lot
Liquids.
of water.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And the child is not given water at all. If you remember, when we had our children, at the beginning, we gave them water. But now we are asked not to give water at all to the child, except for mother's milk. So I find that quite intriguing.
Let me answer that. So the mother has to drink milk so that the baby gets enough milk, and if you give any other liquid to the baby, the first 6 months is given only exclusive breast milk, because the breast milk itself will take care of the water content, water requirement of the baby. So that is why no other water is given, and the mother keeping herself hydrated is more important.
Yeah, and water can also cause a lot of contamination. So maybe
Contamination.
chances
It
of
has to be
infection-
given separately. It doesn't come from the breast, isn't it? So you have to keep care of all the keeping the spoon and the container, everything clean, contamination free.
I hope Malini Hebbar's question has been answered. Now, there is one Anjali who was asking that her sister's child is 1 year, 4 months. So how long she can breastfeed her child?
Yeah, up to 2 years, breastfeeding can be done, provided the woman, the mother has, breast milk. And also, what is important is these prolactin and oxytocin, these two hormones, they continue to work if the child is suckling. So when the child suckles at the nipples, these hormones get activated and milk production takes place. So for some women, it continues, the level of these hormones are at the peak, and breastfeeding can be continued. If she is not working, then there won't be any problem. Otherwise, what happens is many women who are working resort to breastfeeding only at nights. As after 6 months, women resort to breastfeeding only at night times or early morning before they go for work. Breastfeeding morning and night. And this prolactin hormone is more active at the night time. So it is at that time more milk is produced also. So she can continue to up to 2 years, and she can also give complementary food to the baby. So there's a question of how, I just saw a question about, just let me see the chat box.
Yeah, one Kushi has asked how many hours breastfeeding fed that milk can be kept in the refrigerator. Actually, this
Yeah, I
question
just
is-
showed that it can be kept for about 12 hours, 12 months. It can be kept. But the thing is, as soon after it is taken out, it should be thawed, and again, you cannot keep it back in the fridge. when if the baby has left some milk, you feel, oh, how can I throw the breast milk? It is so precious. So you don't want to throw it. But then taking in and out and the temperature change, the bacteria starts growing. So once you take out the milk, for feeding the baby, you can't keep it in and out of the fridge for a long time. It has to be given off, and otherwise, if it's exposed to outside atmosphere for a long time, it has to be thrown. But since we feel it is so precious, it's better to take smaller containers so that you don't waste breast milk.
Yeah, in your PowerPoint, I also saw one slide that it can be kept for 4 hours at room temperature, 1 day in the refrigerator, and 12 months in the freezer. So this is for the question who was asked.
Yeah.
Now Shubham has asked why colostrum is slightly yellow in color.
It has a lot of fat in it. Besides the proteins, antibodies. So that, and it is more concentrated. So in the milk that we drink, also animal milk, sometimes you get milk which is, and also it has vitamin A. So, that is why the yellowish carotene. The milk that we drink, sometimes the cream on top has a more yellowish tinge. So why does that happen? Because when the cow eats a lot of green leaves, that time there's more carotene content in the milk. So then the milk will have a yellowish color. The cream can make out the fat, because vitamin A is associated with fat. It is a fat soluble vitamin.
Mitra madam, your talk is so good that one of the students is asking Sri Raksha that if people, ladies who are having breast cancer, what about them? Can they feed? So usually, can you answer? Then maybe I will add up to that.
If the mother is having breast cancer, she will not be in the position to breastfeed, because she may, if she is in the, treated and recovered, maybe, all these hormones will stop functioning when she's undergoing treatment, because it's, doesn't work that way. So in such conditions, she has to give some other feed or surrogate mother, someone to feed. You get people to breastfeed, just like how surrogate mothers, you get people to breastfeed, surrogate breastfeeding. That can be done if the person insists on breastfeeding the baby. Or you also get breast milk, some shops in abroad, you get breast milk also. Because breast milk is same, it doesn't depend on from this person, that person. The nutritive value remains the same.
Yes, I think Sri Raksha, your question has been answered. Yeah. In this program, there are most of them are ladies, but there are some who are boys, students' boys. So it is a message for you also to make it maybe in your future, even in the society as a man, when you go, always support the ladies who are having a child for the breastfeeding. Give some privacy, a room by which they will feel more comfortable, because this is not the question of only one child and one family or one mother. It is also the question of strong nation. If the mother is strong, the child will be stronger, and the nation will also be healthy. And for all this, not one, we all in the community, we have to work towards it to make it. So the whole August month is dedicated to create the awareness for the breastfeeding. So it is a common responsibility, a shared responsibility of each and every one to support this. And I'm very happy that today's program, we have all age groups. There are many who already have grandchildren and they have gone through the phase of advising the same to their daughters or maybe daughter-in-laws, and also young, beautiful, budding students which will be the very good information for them. Otherwise, even their mother might not have told about all this or may not be able to tell. So all this exclusive breastfeeding information and about the nutrition of the breastfeeding you have given very well. Thank you. So if the session is over, I think I can request Gayatri madam for the next session.
Yes, madam. Yes, Hope there are so many questions coming, because of the time constraints. I think, Madam, shall I go to the vote of thanks? Bharti ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, please.
Yes. Gratitude is the greatest virtue of all virtues. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Madam Mitra Prabhu for accepting our invitation for today's webinar and enlightening our virtual participants regarding the importance of feeding the baby and to support, to have the breastfeeding friendly society and if kashayas prepared by our grandmothers. I think this is the right time. We have to go back to that. So thank you so much, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you from our
Thank you.
side.
It was pleasure.
Thank you, madam. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Bharati Prakash, HOD of Microbiology Department, University College, Ampanakatta, Mangalore, and the President of Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North for helping us to organize this webinar successfully. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, madam.
My thanks to Mr. Devananda Pai, Secretary, WNES, and correspondent of Besant Women's College, and all the management members for supporting us to conduct such webinars. Thank you, sirs. Our sincere thanks to all the members of Inner Wheel Club, Mangalore North. Thanks to our principal, Dr. Satish Kumar Shetty, IQAC Coordinator, Professor Syed Khadar, NAC Coordinator, Dr. Praveen Kumar Kesi for their support.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sirs. Special thanks to all my dear colleagues and all virtual participants for making this webinar a successful one. My special thanks to Mr. Ritesh Kumar for the technical support. Thank you, Ritesh. Lastly, we thank Besant Women's College as well as from the Inner Wheel Club of Mangalore North, each and everyone who supported us directly or indirectly for the success of this webinar. Thank you once again. Feedback link will be shared in the chat box and as well as in the YouTube. It will be active for 15 minutes. Please fill the feedback form. Once again, thank you all.